Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Capper. There's another video on Raid Shadow Legends and another in our series of I Built Them So You Don't Have To. If you saw yesterday's video, you know this is my last video for a couple weeks while I go on vacation, or at least my last official formal video. I do plan on doing vlogs and possibly some shorts while on vacation, but it'll be nothing structured until the 25th. So I wanted to make sure to get this champion in because not only does she look amazing, I think her kit is a really strong kit. It doesn't show very well. It's not a very flashy kit, but what it does is it helps you progress. It helps you win. So without further ado, here we are with Lady Annabelle. I thought, seeing we're taking her into the Frost Spider, I would bring her into somewhere a little bit different for her kit review. So we're going to take her into the Magma Dragon 110 on hard for her kit review. Sanguine Exchange. Swaps HP with a target ally. If this champion's HP is equal or higher to the target's after the swap, places a revive on death on target for 2 turns. If this champion's HP is lower than the target's after the swap, places a revive on death buff on this champion for 2 turns. Also places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Captivator. Attacks all enemies. Has a 75% bookable to 100% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Also has a 75 bookable to 100% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns on targets with less than 50% turn meter. Covetous. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit heals this champion by 3% of their max HP. The Red Lady. Passive. Heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. All right, so there's Lady Annabelle. First off, she looks cool. I actually have a beautiful infographic. Many thanks and courtesy of Chosen, and let's bring that up. And this is Lady Annabelle. She's a utility support champion. As you can see here, her current build, as I have her built out, and we'll say where we're using her, is with a bolster set with perception gear to get kind of these stats of around 80,000 HP, her attack at 1800, 89, 27, 21 defense, speed at 188, crit rate, crit damage, irrelevant, resistance at 402, and accuracy at 328. Where do I see her being used? Well, again, courtesy of this wonderful graphic you see, first of all, you see her masteries. We put her in War Master. So we did give her damage. We also gave her support abilities right down the right hand side for that extra accuracy. Her sets. She has a base HP of 20,310, which makes her a natural and one of the few epics of over 20k. Natural for bolster set, natural for shield set, perception really good because of her utility and her A2 being a very important skill, allowing her to put a decrease speed and a leech on all enemies in an AoE. And then, of course, in order to get those accuracy and those the resistance numbers for the content we're going to show her and showcase her in, really looking good for stone skin and protection and accuracy. There are a few other ways to build her out. I do want to mention them. One, she is a solo Bommel champion. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get her built up in time to check her out with Bommel, and so we'll have to wait a few months for that rotation to come back. As soon as Bommel is back in rotation, I will build her out for that and probably just do a separate, smaller video just showing you in the Bommel, in Bommel. But for this vid, this is kind of the way it is. Also, if you need the attack, if you're just like, hey, I like the fact that she can heal and self-heal and all that, great. But the reality here is she can do more attack for you. She's not going to be a big nuker, but she can do a lot better of attack if you crit cap her and you give her more attack damage. But typically, I think she's the utility support. Her main utility is landing that AoE leech that decreased speed. So prioritize your accuracy, speed, HP, and res. As far as her speed goes, you can see I actually have a little lower than what I've mentioned in the stats goal. There's kind of two ways to play her out. Number one is to get her to be your fastest. That is the priority way. That is the preferred way. If she's the fastest on your team, she can be the first one to lay down the decrease speed on the enemy team as well as the leech, so that the rest of your team can use that leech to heal up as they attack. Alternatively, if you just don't have the stats to do it, or if getting a bolster or shield set's really more important and you want to get that 100k HP and sacrifice some of that, you can, in which case her A3 would be the priority, where she can heal. She might be going after the enemy, she might be slower than the enemy, or at least slower than the enemy on the second round, and then after your champions take damage, she can help the nuker who's taking the most damage by that wonderful HP heal swap. So this infographic, by the way, will be available in a link in the description down below, and be sure to check out my good friends over here, raidshadowpro.gg. It is a one-stop resource for everything you wanted to know. The famous or infamous tier list is available there, as well as different variety of tweets, variety of content from many different of your favorite content creators in the Raid Shadow Legends arena. So make sure you check that out. You can check out from some of the greatest and best: Deadwood Jedi, Chosen, Scratch, Cold Brew, myself, Layla, and many, many more are part of that team. So please check that out. Again, it's raidshadowpro.gg. Now, I do want to talk about her kit a little bit more because it does bear some more conversation. And just so you have an understanding of how this is really going to work for you, she has a couple different things that work for her. First off, she has this exchange. And this exchange is a lot like Mother Sabelle's. She swaps HP with the target ally. If this champion's HP is equal to or higher than the target's after the swap, replaces the revive on the target ally. Forget all this. She does a swap. If she takes the HP, the champion she took the HP from gets a revive on death. If she gives HP, then she puts the revive on death on herself. And what's going to happen most time, because she's going to be high HP and your nukers are a lot more fragile, they're going to take more damage, therefore they're going to lower health. So she's going to fully heal them, and that's going to come out of her own HP pool. Then she puts a revive on death on herself for safety and an increased speed on everyone. So very strong utility in this ability alone. On top of that, she has this, which attacks all enemies and is able to put a leech and a decreased speed with those who have less than 50% turn meter. This is one of the reasons why I said it's important to have her go really fast. That's kind of the ultimate goal, because if you can get her better than twice as fast as the enemy, you can lay down that decreased speed right away. If you can't get that right away, you're better off slowing her down slower than the enemy, or slower than the enemy's second turn on those really slow dungeon waves, that sort of thing, where when she's using this ability, they're less than 50% turn meter. And in that case, you slow her down and you land that decreased speed. Either way, she's going to put that leech, which is more utility heals for your team. As they deal damage, the leech will heal them up. Her A1 is pretty simple. It's an attack one enemy 2 times. She does heal herself by 3% of their max HP. But you're thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute. So Lady Annabelle is going to swap heal. She's going to have low health. She's going to revive on death, but then she might just die. Well, not exactly, because of this ability. Heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. And this is huge. You'll see it in where we're going to take her into the Frostbiter dungeon 120 hard. And you'll see where this really comes into play, where she can heal herself up in a matter of few turns between her A1, which is going to heal her. She's going to, the bolster set's going to heal her a bit. And, we put this leech, the heals by 5% when she's less than 50% health. We've got all these opportunities to heal her up, and there's never a point where she's even in the slightest amount of danger, in spite of the fact that she's healing a lot of people up. A great overall champion, not very flashy, not very sexy. It's more fun, not gonna lie, it's more fun to have her built out for a ton of damage. She doesn't do a lot, but I mean, she does enough that it's kind of cool. Like for example in Bommel, the fact that she can beat up Bommel is really amusing and fun. But the reality here is this is probably the best way you're going to use her. If you can crit cap her, great, that just helps her healing ability. But the primary focus here, get her to be that utility support champion for your team, landing those that decreased the decreased speed, the leech, the increased speed, and of course healing, which is amazing. So that's Lady Annabelle. We're going to now take her into the Frostbiter, so you can extrapolate what she does in the Frostbiter to any sustained battle. That's where she's at her best. She's not a speed runner. She does have a little bit of buffs, but probably not enough that she's going to be useful in a seer comp. You're really just using her when you're in sustained battles, which I think is Doom Tower bosses. I also think is Hydra. And hopefully when Bommel comes out, we'll be able to show her that very unique build that helps her kill Bommel. So without further ado, let's jump into that Frostbiter. All right, so here we are. This should be a test bed. Look, I'm not saying use this configuration. I'm not saying I'm not using crazy endgame gear, but this is kind of where I see Lady Annabelle best being used, in that opportunity to support the rest of the team. I just wanted to bring it back, see if you saw that piece. We clipped that piece in there. It was a perfect example of what she's going to do for you. They're picking on my Mordecai. She took on 3/4 of that damage, put a revive on death on herself in case she got killed, but then she healed for 40,000. Like, look at how much. So she can just heal herself so easily. There's another 40,000 heal. 40,000 heal on herself, because she heals herself to pretty much full every time an enemy is killed, right? So, yeah, just let's not forget how amazing this champion can be. All right, here we are on the boss. By the way, don't fool yourself. The requirements on this boss are pretty crazy to be able to do it without significant help. I have my Mordecai. You see he's resisting most. Probably one of the hardest builds I've ever done for an epic. He's got insane, I think 600 plus accuracy, 400 plus resistance, and some survivability to go with it, so he can land those HP burns. But again, I just want to point out, and we'll probably speed up the run so you can watch the whole run, so you can kind of catch maybe where this is supposed to be a Lady Annabelle showcase. But there, I mean, you're already seeing damage being taken, and then when it's her turn, there's the health swap. He's at full health. He's the weak one. He's the weakest link because I had to put so much into his resistance and accuracy. He doesn't have as much HP, but there, she's up to full life now. Like, just like that, she can do that. It's like she's got all the cool things about Mother Sibel, or some of the cool things about Mother Sibel in the health swap, but then she's got the ability to just reverse what she did. And it's pretty phenomenal. And I actually did put her higher resistance. Unfortunately, she is still getting stuck a few times, but it still doesn't seem to matter. And I think I think without Lady Annabelle, this composition's impossible, because I just don't, without like significant heals or bringing in a Drexstar, even with the Drexstar, maybe not, right? So it's really nice to see this, how this really works. In that case, now that time she saved Aox, who, by the way, doing work in this. He's extending buffs. Now the only thing here is, and I'm sure you guys know this, is when you're using this team, I don't have a block revive. Often the boss actually takes more damage than the side, so there is a chance that the boss will die before the side guys die, and therefore I won't have the HP burn on him, that sort of thing. He can resist still. This isn't a perfect opportunity because of the cleanse that the side action has. So here we're gonna get so we've got the cleanse, and I think we're in trouble. I hope we have, nope, we don't have an HP burn yet. We're just hoping for an HP burn. We're just hoping for an HP burn. No, that's not an HP burn. Okay, just attack him until you're... There's the HP burn, and dead. So there you go, 6 minutes 31 seconds, actually a lot better than my last time. 225 for an epic and rare team. The biggest thing you want to see about Lady Annabelle, of course, is the heals. She's healing a ton. All three of them are healing really well. She comes in with a bolster set, so that's just added security, added protection. This was the most extreme version, but I think we saw in several cases how her kit is going to save you. And this is for the frost spider. It could be the poison spider, the nether spider. It could be for the, you know, maybe you're doing regular spider and you're early mid game, and sorry, and Lady Annabelle is saving your your weak affinity tank, right? It could be Hydra, where she's able to consistently remove damage from your champions, from your nuking champions, put them onto herself, then heal herself up rather quickly in order to ensure the team's survival. And if in case she gets some bad luck, bad RNG, you know, the Head of Wrath hits her when she's low, she's got to revive on death for herself, so she's got plenty of mechanics to stay alive until she can do that, and I really like it. She also does reasonable damage. I actually had one of these tests. I tested this a few times on the lower one, and I had to wait for this one to open for me. But she actually beat Magma for damage a couple times because she's doing consistent AoE damage as well. And keep that in mind. You saw the infographic, which is available in the link description down below. But she has the opportunity to do so much more damage if you really needed it. So if you're at the point where you're like, I want her to do more damage, it's not crazy damage, she's still a support, but she can kind of assist in that damage area. But overall, that's where I see Lady Annabelle, so let's head to final thoughts. My final thoughts on this champion: first off, she looks amazing. We can talk about that all day long. Raid rarely disappoints on the design of these champions. She's clearly some sort of life-leeching vampire. And they've built her well. She looks cool. Her kit kind of supports her character, and I think it's really cool. Now, as far as how her kit synergizes and what I think of her, I think she's an amazing champion. I think it's when we showed her kit and we were running through the Magma, I think it was a little bit more drastic of an example of how well her kit can support someone. She just sat there. I wouldn't normally put her in the lead. I just didn't want to totally mess up my normal team by swapping everything around. But she was able to continually heal War Chief so that he could continually take the hits from the Magma Dragon. No point was anyone going to die. She heals herself back up. Also in waves, you saw it in the Frost Spider a couple times in that second wave. Mordecai would be half health. She'd heal him up, and then before her next turn, she was already at full health because of that passive that heals 50%. So she's good in kind of two places. I think if you're struggling in Doom Tower waves, or not necessarily struggling, but you need some kind of support, some kind of help, I think Annabelle is amazing for those higher waves. It's, obviously if you don't have a seer speed comp or some other kind of speed comp, but I think Lady Annabelle can help most other comps because she's putting a decreased speed potentially, she's putting a leech, she's putting an increased speed, and she's able to do those heals to keep your nukers alive. And you saw where both Mordecai and Warchief being kept alive, those were the critical champions to stay alive, so did exactly what she wanted to do. Also, the fact that we were able to keep everyone alive with absolutely no worry at 120 hard. I mean, that's not. I mean, Frostbiter's not the hardest one. It's more of a gimmicky mechanic because of the HP burn. And yes, I have endgame gear, but I still was quite thrilled that I could make that team work actually quite easily. Other than Mordecai, Mordecai actually had the end game gear. The hardest to build gear, right? We whipped out the old Hell Hades optimizer for that. But overall, really love this champion. I think this is a champion that's going to help you in progression. I think this is a champion that'll help you in late game as you're pushing that kind of final content, including Faction Wars, possibly, definitely Doom Tower. I also think this is a champion that would do well in Hydra, though I will not build a Hydra team. Nubkex, Odd One of you guys, there's your challenge. Use Lady Annabelle successfully in the Hydra, so I don't have to. I do enough of that for you guys, all of you, to reciprocate, my friend. But yeah, I love her as a champion. I think a lot of times these support champions go unheralded because they're not as flashy. But this is a perfect example of a champion who just does her job well at all levels. And I think, yeah, probably I'm not going to use her with my account, with all the legendaries and all the epics I have. But I think for the vast majority of people who aren't going to this level, I think she's going to be a very successful, very strong champion and a strong build. Now let's go into the reviews, as I like to do. Faction Wars. Yeah, I would absolutely give her a 5 there. I can see how that would be. Campaign locations, 3. I don't know why she has a 4.9. Where she's so good and can't. I guess because she swaps health. I was playing around trying to figure out where best to showcase her skill set like I normally do. We ended up in Magma Dragon, but she did really well helping Ethos, so maybe I'll give her a 4. I was able to do every level of Nightmare with her. Now, Ethos can do Nightmare 12-6 farming, but he'll actually die in some of those other levels. But she actually kept him alive in all of them. Unfortunately, the boss was the only place, Mortal Macabre's got the revive on death block, or the revive block on his peril. So it doesn't really help there. But everywhere else, I'll give her a 4. Arena offense. I mean, decreased speed, but is she really going to be 100% faster than the rest of the team? If she's in a ghost second team, maybe. I don't think that's a legit. Ice Golem's peak, yeah. 4 at least. Spider's Den. I see her good in Spider's Den because she can keep your weak affinity tank alive. Hydra. This is where I'm just going off of kind of theory based on her kit. Yes. Minotaur's Labyrinth, a 3. The reason why I don't give her big in Minotaur's Labyrinth, because you don't... I mean, she can probably solo it, to be perfectly honest with you. So maybe I should give her a 4. Yeah, we'll give her a 4. Demon Lord, nah, it's not... I mean, she's got the... I worry about that exchange health thing. If you could get that to work perfectly, and maybe she gets stunned, like maybe a Rosh card comp where she's exposed on the stun round, she gets stunned, killed, but a revive on death. That would be very difficult to build, but possible. But I still think that's not where you're using her. Void Keep, I mean, okay. The thing here is she doesn't do a ton of damage, so I don't know why they're so high on that. So like all of these, yeah, she's definitely going to help you if you need the help. But if she's not a speed keep, force keep, yeah, 4.9. Who's playing with these champions? Arena defense, she can have some kind of cool mechanics. So yeah, I'll give her a 4. Iron Twins, yeah, maybe. Spirit keep, she's Spirit Affinity. Magic Keep, 1. She's weak affinity. I don't know how you'll... I guess because she's a healer. Well, she's a healer. Sand Devil. It only puts the thing on herself. The revive. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do there. Not quite sure what some of those other people ever think when the reviews. But overall, I think she's an amazing support champion that's going to do absolute amazing things for you. That's it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Please be kind, be safe, and in 2 weeks for an official video, but hopefully some vlogs and some shorts in between time. We'll see you in the next video.